Good evening, friends. Today we will discuss about the important features of fundamental rights. In that, we will see the where the fundamental rights are taken, and in our Indian Constitution, which part it includes, and from so many articles are there in our Indian Constitution. In that article, which articles are representative for these fundamental rights, and it is also divided into some of the following categories like right to equality, right to freedom, right to against exploitation, right to freedom of religion, like that. I will tell those things also, and in addition to that I will also discuss important features of fundamental rights. First we will see the fundamental rights called fundamental because of these are essential for basic human existence. These are essential for basic human existence, guaranteed, predicted by the Constitution or Indian Constitution. They are most essential around the development of the individuals. These are incorporated in Part 3 of our Indian Constitution. From the Article 12 to 35 represents the fundamental rights, and these fundamental rights are derived from the Constitution of USA, which is derived from Bill of Rights. Bill of Rights. Our Indian Constitution is very lengthiest, but USA Constitution is very less. These rights guaranteed to all persons without any discrimination. These fundamental rights broadly divided into following categories. Means right to equality. Equality, it is main Article 14 to 18. Like freedom, right to freedom, 19 to 22, and exploitation, Article 23 to 24, and religion, right to religion, Article 25 to 28, and cultural and educational rights, 29 to 30, and right to property, Article 31, which is removed 44th Amendment made the ordinary legal right in 1978. Once again I am repeating, that is right to property. It represents the Article 31, which is removed 44th Amendment made the ordinary legal right, that is in 1978. And last one is right to constitutional remedies, that is Article constitutional remedies, Article 32. These are the categories broadly divided for the fundamental rights. If we will see the some of the important features which are relating to the fundamental rights. These are available, some of fundamental rights, only to the Indian citizens. Other available into foreigners also. Fundamental rights are not absolute. Again I am telling, fundamental rights are not absolute. It means the state can impose reasonable restrictions and judiciary will decide. These restrictions are not. Again I am telling, fundamental rights are not absolute. The state can impose the reasonable restrictions. All the fundamental rights are available against arbitrary action of the state. Some of them are available against the private individual also. Some of the fundamental rights are negative in character. They place limitations on authority of the state, whereas some others are positive. Some of the fundamental rights are negative in character and some of the positive. They confer certain privileges on the people. Whose fundamental rights are negative in character, they place limitations on authority, and whose positive, they confirm certain privileges on people. Fundamental rights are justiciable. Violation of fundamental rights can be challenged in a court of law. Fundamental rights can be challenged in a court of law. Fundamental rights are not a sacrosanct. They are not permanent or rigid. Parliament can limit the scope of fundamental rights, but it must be done only with a constitutional amendment. If anything needs to change with respect to the fundamental rights, that is with a constitutional amendment only. It should also be done without affecting basic structure of the constitution. If you want to do, you can do the constitutional amendment with the parliament limits, but it should not affect the basic structure of the constitution. Fundamental rights can be during operation and be affected that affected during operation of national emergency. Article 20 to 21. 6 rights granted under the Article 19 can be suspended only when the emergency is imposed on grounds and external aggression. Fundamental rights can also be limited by the Articles 31A, B, C. Finally, I want to discuss those broadly division categories are right to equalities from Article 14 to 18, and right to freedom, that is 19 to 22, and right to exploitation 23 to 24, and right to freedom of religion, that is 25 to 28, and right to education, that is 29 to 30, and right to property is Article 31, which was removed now, 44th Amendment in 1978, and right to constitutional remedies, that represents Article 32. In our Indian Constitution, again I am repeating, the fundamental rights are in the Part 3 of our Indian Constitution, which represents the Article 12 to 35. Thank you.